Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. Paulina here, slightly sleepy in Mexico, talking to you about January and how we are all doing. I'd like to state that if you are watching this early, Christmas is not a great time to celebrate. I've already said this many times. It doesn't have the right capacity to really give you that kick into the new, and it also bends the Capricorn's horns and breaks them as well. New Year's, Christmas, all that hullabaloo, not trusting your instincts, doing what other people tell you, but also pretending to be whole when you're not, or pretending to be there when you don't want to be. It's not an easy time to advance. But if you are not celebrating, if you are from a different religious or spiritual background, how good it is for you to just be nice and to let people do what they do. It's not really about worldviews, it's not really about religion or spirituality at all. It's actually just about quantum mechanics of time. So if you don't celebrate, it is much better for you. I haven't celebrated for the last 2 or 3 years and I feel so much better for it. So if you don't celebrate, if you don't feel like doing that whole thing, it is going to work out the best. But if you are, I hope that you had a great time, or you're going to have a wonderful time. Stay with yourself. Capricorn is a great time to go inside, to concentrate on you, and to really define yourself inside and out. But if you are still celebrating, you don't want to work, you don't want to work out your career, you don't want to work out what you want to do in your life, you don't want to work out where your greater sense of self is guiding you, it's fine. It's a maturing time. It is a very compassionate time. Christmas and New Year's are very, very beautiful times to really admit the truth and to really start over what you want to create that's already been happening for perhaps many years. This is more about allowing yourself to be you and developing the right techniques and the right tools very, very quickly to get yourself from where you are to where you want to be. So this is a concentration-based time. If you don't mind, please consider how you can stretch time instead of breaking it in half. So don't break Capricorn's horns during this time, please. I mean, if you can. If you don't believe this, it's fine. I mean, if you are very stuck with this tradition, it's cool, but consider how the 1st of January is no way the beginning. So Capricorn, the old man, the craftsman, we're not beginning the year with this, we're not beginning the year with this energy. We cannot start here. But where we can start is the 21st of March, which is Aries, which is the chronolinear obvious time, Pisces, the death / the womb, if you believe in incarnation as well. And March brings about Aries, which is the birth, the newborn. So however you like to do this is fine. It's also questionable for some, some people think Pisces is where it starts. In Bali say it's Pisces time. Chinese New Year also is around Pisces time. So it's up to you how you start, but please, please, please don't bend the horns of Capricorn. Please don't leave it up to you to try and control your environment and try to make everybody show up and turn up and do the things that you think that they should do to make any kind of idyllic relationship with you. So in the home, Capricorn, it's just not easy. It's just not easy. So if you are not watching this early, and if you are indeed watching it after the celebrations, please consider how can you start things right. If you are deciding to start, and if you completely said, and your viewers completely said that this is the beginning, which is really psychologically traumatizing actually, because in Capricorn it is really hard to start. You're asking yourself to be a baby in a time when you're meant to be pushing your career upwards and getting things further along. So if you are starting, that's fine. Just consider how you can bring it to greater fruition very quickly without dawdling and thinking about the past, because it's truly not the time. So I'm looking at the 2 charts now, so let's talk to you about January. So the massive trend here that I see is people starting up things and changing places, taking their places. I feel one of the most incredible ideas during this time is not to go there. There's going to be a mass desire for things. There's going to be a mass desire for certain dreams, perhaps even a competitive or like incompatible feeling about certain parts of the world or certain parts of your world, this reality, whatever. The big look at the global picture, the big look at the governments, the judgment, the big finger, I don't really feel it's really truly the time to keep in touch with the mass media. I feel it is truly not the time to go into any kind of psychosis over what you've done last year, what you're going to do this year. It's not the point. So that's enforcing the previous point here. So here I have the 2 charts in front of me, just over here. And I'd like to say that when I look at the first chart on the 1st of Jan, I see a vision, but I don't just see a vision, I see lust. And I see the feelings of love or the feelings of commitment sometimes overflowing, and sensuality or sexual tension, or perhaps the information cycles becoming too bright, too pure, too interesting, or too intense. It feels to me that Sun hitting so close to Pluto, very, very close here to Saturn, and also this incredible parting of Jupiter and Mercury. There is a need to get there. There is a quickness, there is a quickening in speed. It feels to me that people are getting there, but it also feels that people want things fast. People want to fall in love quickly. Perhaps people want to finally take advantage of that deal. Maybe people are selling or buying things very quickly. It also feels to me there is a quickening and there is a rush. And it also feels to me that somebody wants to be there somewhere, wants to be with another person, or maybe something or somebody wants to be joined and already entwined, or there is like a need to combine. It's like there's a need to pour two cauldrons of water together. There is a need to combine, and a rush of blood. I feel also this Venus is at the last few degrees of Scorpio here on the 1st of Jan. So it feels to me that there's a rush of blood, there's a rush of perhaps a feeling of dependency or impermanence. So if you are structuring and you do not any longer celebrate the New Year's, or you don't do Christmas or anything like that, you might actually realize that you can use this very good. You might find that the feeling that you have in your hands, the feeling of energy as you direct it, is very strong. It's like a train. It's like a slower moving but certain train. You might have a very certain train of thought here. If you don't celebrate the holidays, you might actually also have a very nice certainty about where you've come to be, where you're going, and what the next direction is. So if you are not with it and you're with yourself, and you actually are kind enough to see your inner processes and how your inner voice, inner strength, inner force, inner power, inner passion, and a connection is developing, you might actually not show it on the outside, but you might actually admit that the vision is there, the mission is here, the time to get your point across, the time to market your product, the time to conserve time and put all the things where they need to be. Strategic, clear thinking is there for those that are actually able to no longer catch up with others and really do the things that are not meant to be done in this time. But it also feels to me that a lot of us will just know the truth. It'll be like, wow, the truth, no longer clouding of the brain. There is a general direction in which everybody's going to go, and then there's going to be us few, perhaps, whoever is not caring as to what other people are doing. I feel and I believe that without sentiments, without trying to rush, without trying to marry too quick, or without trying to be in the right group too quick, there's going to be lots of loopholes. And I feel that the advice is this: try to fill those voids. You see a loophole, fill that void. You see a marketplace open, fill that void. You feel like a stall, or like a center or place, or like a part of the planet, or like an opportunity, especially with placing also with people's society, and without sugarcoating, it's also places that have been vacated by other people. Also during the holiday season, I can see a rush and a push towards also theft and burglary, and people taking advantage of other people's misplacement or inability to feel content. And this actually happens every year during this time. There is a rush of people towards something. There's an emotional flare. There is a belief that we have begun, and so the feeling of innocence and childishness comes back here. So maturity is lost for the masses, and of course a lot of the people that still retain a lot of themselves and don't think about what the populace is doing, or pretending to be doing, or wanting to do. Sometimes, yes, people can take something from another. People can push one person out of the place, fill that place. People can fill in the gaps with other people. People can very easily distribute money, energy, finances, time. It is just very, very good not to be on the side of the crook here, obviously, and to be on the side of you. Who are you? How are you? Can you see the marketplace that you belong to become available suddenly? Can you see how you else can fill your time? Can you see how you can maybe no longer navigate without purpose? Can you please take time, if you are on holiday, if you feel that you need to be, have a look as to how you can achieve through this time and create a greater era of success, because this is the most success pushing time in the world. I mean, it's Capricorn time, but also because of Jupiter. being behind the sun and Mercury being behind the sun, we can think, feel, and understand. It's almost like we got 4D vision. There is something beyond us that is powering us, and that is powering us ahead of the pack. If you are interested, please stay away. Okay, so staying away from mass media, staying away from psychosis, staying away from masses. Perhaps this is why we have the holidays during this time. It's the most vulnerable time. If you are off guard, you may not see it. If you're onto it and you are waking up early, you are speculating what you're going to do, you're already moving forward. You can see what October has created, that November perfected, December solidified, and January is going to really reach the top with, then you're fine. So the progression, the congestion of time and space here that are created through mass psychosis is not very easy to connect to, but at the same time you can also use it to your advantage, especially if you market for us, if you are selling where everybody wants to take a time off. People taking time off during the most productive time of the year. People not studying here, great time to study, great time to show up, great time to be the only one who sells a certain product or a certain piece of work. Very good to be the one in check, the one connected. To be a paramedic during this time, as usually this time brings about accidents and things like that, especially if we are in Capricorn. It's obvious, because Saturn building or knocking down. Also people that are of mind, people that are committed or in commitment to a certain cause. Of course, obviously, everybody who's working out on their career. Also people that are working on religious structure based in belief, temperament and connection to source, but also connection to power. And all religious and physical structures do make a very lucrative living here, and also can make a lot more than you think. So definitely religious, spiritual, biased, hierarchical energy benefits here a lot more than normal. Also institutions, organizations, and things like that. So yeah, interesting. It's very Illuminati, very, very true. So yeah, maybe this is why we're all off guard. We're little sheep, you know, like, wow, you know, like we're kind of like looking forward to the future when we should really be working on what we've made in the past. So if you are able to be stable here, don't discount what another person's doing. You don't need to get into their situation. You don't need to get into what they're doing, why they're doing. You don't need to get into why they've started to celebrate or why they have become uninterested in celebration. You don't have to get into the nitty-gritty. You don't need to get into the nitty-gritty. Basically, you here have to really sort out your own spectrum, your own strengths, where your business suffers, where it earns a lot, how you can market, what you can do for the next few years, how you can push your ideas from the back forward, and what are the most perhaps sleek or even sneaky ways, sneaky ways, it's a very sneaky energy, to get yourself across, how to buy for less, sell for more, business mind, all things to do with finances, all things to do with money mind. But also we have Uranus retrograde, you know. There is a sense in me, you know, here that we can't quite yet understand the full future or the full quantum of the potential, but we can become more knowing with time. We can become more knowing with time. It's like biting into the apple of knowledge. It is really like about biting into the truth, taking a bite out of the big pie, and recognizing for yourself, and maybe for other people in your family or other people in your job, in your spectrum of learning or your spectrum of creation, how to do the best thing you can, but maybe not just for you, also for your team. So it's a very, very nice time here to really focus, surrender to the flow of time, surrender to the fact that some of your ideas didn't work out, surrendering, of course, you know, to the fact that perhaps some of your partnerships were not of truth, recognizing there is a lot more out there than before. We got Venus in the 11th house at the beginning, moving into the 12th, but also receiving knowledge, receiving bases, receiving pictures, receiving love. Please stay open, receiving of space, receiving of facilities, receiving of conversations, receiving of knowledge, receiving of truths, but also receptivity of you towards another person or another paradigm really does claim you. It maims or claims. So the way that you can be open now, the way that you can connect, the way you can be more open-minded about your business or your brand, what you can do more with your study is really truly the best to see now. And now I'm looking at the last chart, the chart on the 31st of January, and I'm feeling like I feel like admitting things that were not quite true is important here. we have here Jupiter conjunct Venus moon at the end. We have a very, very huge, deep desire to breed or to breathe or to breathe life into something greater. I feel that we have here perhaps a very vulnerable feeling for people who have never experienced or expressed love. I feel that as we swing into Aquarius by the end of the month, we're starting to see perhaps suddenly that we were wrong, and maybe all the work, all the commitment that we've put into our lives hasn't really paid off. It could be also very easy here to become tweaked or pushed about by another person, lust and fear of losing love. The possibility of friendship is greater, but also because all the friendships, all the seats have been filled in October, November 2018, you might not find what you seek. But one of the best things here is to admit fault, admitting fault. Oh my goodness, I have not been there for you. Oh my gosh, I've never felt this way before. Or like, oh my gosh, I was lost. So as you're making things with business, you might unconsciously grow your love. You might accidentally fall into a love affair or fall into a loving relationship right after you create some kind of business deal, or money and pleasure somehow merge. One of the only things that really bothers me here as I'm looking at the sky for the month is that by the 30th, you might already dream a completely different picture from what you had. So it's almost like the tooth and claw feeling of January fades, and it's like an icicle that melts. And it also feels to me that no matter how far you get along with business and how much you can push your product or your brand, suddenly, all of a sudden, as Jupiter and Venus meet, it's like the heart melts as well, and all of those problems go away, and perhaps all these business ideas or all these people fade, and it feels that some of you guys will definitely be left with the one, and some of us will be left with God, you know, like on level with God, like just talking truth to God. Or just talking truth to ourselves, and perhaps for some people, yeah, the equivalent of that, which is a connection with perhaps a bystander even, or someone seemingly meaningful in their life. But without further ado, I'd like to state that also Mars, Uranus, okay, it's really deep Chiron, and this depth and the true node. All of this, with also the Mercury Sun at the end of this month, really is conflicting with me. You know, it feels to me that suddenly all of the truths that we thought we had will become untrue. It's almost like the culture has changed, time has changed, and by the 30th of Jan, it feels to me that some of us might even have a problem of trying to unwind our past few years. It feels to me that deceit is seen. I see grief. But it is a very blissful grief, because as we end a certain conservative energy, sometimes it gives birth to something polar opposite, something completely yours, you know, something completely new. I feel also some people might have a eureka awakening, almost like even a messiah complex by the end of this month. But it also feels to me that all that which was is now no longer true. Yes, so Mars is going all the way through Aries during this month, but it also comes completely to a stop here, there, with this delusion busting Uranus. It feels like the most incredible thing sometimes during this time can be tears. And the most incredible time to change your mind is now. The biggest, greatest time to recognize that you're not well, or the biggest, greatest time to recognize that you haven't been paying attention to your life. It's like, wow, I never thought. Wow, pregnancy, you know, situations of control broken, people falling apart, feeling of togetherness, feeling of deep respect and satisfaction, also the deep denial of the soul no longer there. It takes time, and it also takes, I feel, maybe for some people, a lot of hurt to really remember who they are. Mercury Sun, the soul wanting to emit a feeling, a frequency, or a truth, a generosity, and also with this Pluto, Saturn, and this Venus, Jupiter, truly it is the time to face the now. And for some of the quantum flying, you know, the high flying energies, it'll just be like, okay, well, this is going into my pocket, or like I can finally feel. People that have been feeling and living very simple lives might accidentally find treasure. It feels to me that the innocent belong, And the ones who are not innocent and that perhaps have been scheming, plotting, planning, or retiring before time, also taking advantage of other people's properties, other people's business, or other people's commitments, or other people's energy towards them, will start to really suffer. And all of that which you've planned, all of that which you schemed, all of that which you've tied down or tied into a certain type of parable for yourself might actually become loose. And there needs to be accommodation for that. Please accommodate. I've already talked about the pig year, 2019. So, it's not quite the pig year yet, but bruises, bruises, things that disturb you, things that hurt you really last. So please make sure that you're not taking advantage of other people as January begins, that you are not too mindy about your formula, that you're not taking too much advantage, too much time with your work, and pay attention to your spiritual growth, because some of us can truly cavenously feed on the weak. We can feed on the intuitions of others, or the lack of intuitions of others. We can really take advantage of this holiday time and make a lot of money or make a lot of progress. But if you are feeling unholy or unjust in what you're doing, you might get to the end of the month and find, wow, I've missed my point, I've missed the cause, or like I've missed my person, or I never really trusted you, but I belong with you, or I've never really trusted my mother, but I actually really love her, or wow, this is the full myth-busting time. So accommodate, please. Please pat yourself on the back also for not trying to do this on purpose, but it's really hard. It's hard to be esoterically prepared. It's all in the heart, really, truly. But by the end of the month, you might actually find that the pleasure you seek, the money you seek, or the commitment that you seek is shallow in comparison to the full spectrum of the heart, or the full glow of your soul, of your spirit, that can actually come together by the end of the month. But the only thing is not to get carried away, not to get a messiah complex, not to try and teach anybody else, and embed. So please prepare by about the 21st, 23rd of January, as we swing into Aquarius. There might be need to cut down on a lot of work that you're doing very fast. You might need to cut down on what you've tried to be, what you pretended you were. Also cut down on judgment of other people, cut down on rhetoric with another that is hurtful or shameful, and prepare to be awed, like to be wow, in awe. Prepare to be in awe, because Jupiter conjunction with Moon, Venus here at the end, with Venus especially, that's where you are whole and you can actually see. We can be seen. I also feel that we might need to adjust here and make sure that we have spaces, okay? That we have places, that we have homes, that we have communities, we have some kind of commitments, we have something of the heart, of the heart to keep us whole. Because if we don't want to see what can be, we can also become very scarce. So we can become a fool and walk away from love. Here you can drop everything, fall in love, but then at the same time try to push yourself away from it. You can also receive a lot of lust or emotion that you may count as love, and then love eventually finds you anyway in a different way. So it's like love, care, meaningful situation. The concept of eternity is really questioned, and also the relationship of the eternal now to your own current psyche gets revised. So prepare for a big epic global change by the end of the month, and a huge new center for you. So thank you very much. I hope this has been good for you. And if you'd like to have a look at your sign via ascendant, moon, sun, and stellium, please have a look at the links. Please have a look at my YouTube. So basically now I'm putting most of my stuff on Patreon, but I'm still contributing to YouTube with these monthly videos as short as they might be during this time. Also, if you'd like to buy the Almanac for 2019, you can. So all the things are in the links below. If you would like a reading, let me know. If you'd like to have a look at my blog, have a look. I predict every day ahead of time. So if you'd like to see me for consultation, that's great. If you wouldn't, that's fine as well. Please consider your hopes and dreams. Please build carefully and with diligence, and try not to trick yourself or anybody else into any commitment that you don't need. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and I will get on to your sign. Thanks. Bye.